Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm here with Michael Szewczyk. I
Hey
practiced
everyone.
it before the call, so that's the right pronunciation. How are you, Michael?
Good, Fred. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. So Michael is the president of Rally West.
Region
He's
director. Region
region
director of Rally
director.
West. Yeah.
Okay, there you
So
go.
I sit on
Thank you for.
the national board as the region director for Rally West, which covers Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. But most of our competitors are based in Alberta. We've got a few in Manitoba, but most of them are based here in Alberta.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you for the correction.
Gotcha.
The first rally you competed in was in 2012. Is that correct?
Yeah, the Cochrane Winter Rally with my dad in March of 2012. Unfortunately, we didn't finish that event. We had some mechanical issues, but I wasn't too distraught by that because my dad also didn't finish his first event, and he went on to have a very illustrious career. So I use that as a motivator, as a sign of good luck and not bad luck for a long career. And this year's my 13th season competing. So I've been in the game for a while now.
Very nice. So you've been competing in CRC and ARA with 13 start as a driver, 109 start as a co-driver. So that's quite impressive.
Yeah, I mean those. If those are the EWRC stats, those are a little
Yeah,
skewed, let's say, because they'll count like the regional rally within the national rally as a separate one.
that's right.
Personally, I count those as just one. So based on like just single events that I'm at, let's say, I'm at 67. But yeah, if I guess total events scored would be 109 or 107, like you said, I didn't even realize that. So I maybe should have done something for my 100th event, but I'll do that when I get to 100 events, 100
Real.
trips, let's
Yeah,
say. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Very nice. And last weekend, you were at the Oregon Trail Rally, which you guys scored the third position overall. Congrats.
No, second overall.
Second. Oh, you finished second. Okay.
We finished second overall. We pipped Andy Miller and Sean Tracy on the last two stages. We made up about a second a mile going the last two stages. We won the last two stages overall, and we ended up beating them by 1.6 seconds overall. So we made up a little bit more than a second a mile. It was a proper push with Georgie. We were in the Element Rally Sport Ford Fiesta Rally 3. So we won our class in limited four-wheel drive and finished second overall and brought home a 1-2 finish for Element Rally Sport because our teammates Javier Olivares and KJ Miller won the rally overall in their Ford Fiesta Rally 2.
Oh, but again, thank you for correcting me. I looked at the result online this weekend, and I guess the last stage was not finished when I looked it up. So even better for you guys.
Yeah, no, it was a mega weekend. Like I said, mega effort from the team. Yeah, Georgie really showed what she's capable of, and I hope that she can put a budget together to do some more events in the future because she's very intelligent. Definitely faster than me. I will be the first to admit that she can wheel for sure.
Yeah, I guess she did a bit of rallycross as well.
Correct. Yeah. So she came from Nitro Rallycross Lights, when Nitro Rallycross was still a thing. And then her first rally was in 2024, I believe. She competed in the Jim Clark Rally in Scotland, in a Ford Fiesta Rally 4. Didn't finish that. She had some issues there. And then I think she ended up only doing like 2 or 3 stages. So we kind of I count that as a half event for her, let's say. And then we partnered up last year for 2 events in the ARA. We did the Oregon Trail Rally and the Ojibwe Forests Rally. At OTR last year, we finished third in class behind Travis Pastrana and Rhiannon Gelsomino, and they're in the factory Subaru, and Sean Donnelly and Zach Thiel in the Renault Clio Rally 3. And I think we finished like 8th or 9th overall national, I think, something like that. I'd have to take a look at the results. And then Ojibwe finished second overall in limited 4 behind Travis Pastrana and ahead of Vincent Trudel and Glenn Ray. So a former driver of mine as well, who I won the national production 4 championship with back in 2023. Georgie and I, we finished fourth overall in that rally, so we were just off of the overall national podium as well, which is really cool. But that was a fun weekend, and yeah, connected again for Oregon Trail this year. Unfortunately, it was just run as a super regional in the American Championship. They lost national status, but I hope it'll be back as a national rally next year because it is one of my favorite events in the entire North American calendar. It's such a beautiful rally. All 3 days kind of offer different styles of roads. If it's a national, you've got, day one is at the Portland International Raceway, so you got some tarmac stages. Day two out in Goldendale, Washington, on the other side of the Columbia River. You got some fast, some flowy stages, and then the Sunday stages are typically flat out stages in some farmland with some jumps and stuff. Great views. You get to see Mount Hood, Mount Adams. If you're lucky, you get to see a bit of Mount Rainier as well. So it makes for some beautiful photos too. One of the stages, you're kind of racing above the Columbia River as well. So you do get brief
Wow.
glimpses of the Columbia River when I'm not looking at a pace notebook and we're flying down a mountain at 160 kilometers an hour. But yeah, it's a great event, and I hope they get back to national status, and was very fortunate to compete there this year again.
Nice. Talking about a busy spring, I think the next few weeks are gonna be maybe even more busy for you.
Yeah, that's correct. So this week on Friday, I actually have to drive out to Squamish to pick up my car. Its new engine is ready, and then we'll do a quick test this weekend on Sunday, and then we really load the car up and we head out to the Rocky Mountain Rally next weekend. And then after that, we come back. We have a few days of reprep, and then we head out to Merritt for the third round of the Canadian Championship of the Pacific Forest Rally. I come back from the Pacific Forest Rally, and I think 2 days later, I'm headed to Southern Ohio for the next round of the American Rally Association Championship. So I'm basically doing 4 events, I think, in 30 days, which is just crazy, but very blessed to have the opportunity to live out my dream. So I can't complain about
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about the double header of the Western events, it's gonna be the second and the third events of the CRC. It's really cool again this year to have both events back to back. At the same time, for team competitors, workers, and everything, it's a lot to handle. But me, I'm in Quebec, so for sure, all the teams back east, like in Ontario, Quebec, and even in New Brunswick, or that do all the travel to go there. It's always a good thing that because they can go to both events at once. Merritt is still 6 hours away. I just looked it up. 6 hours away from Invermere, where is Rocky Mountain Rally, but still it's kind of closer to go back.
That's it, right? I mean, it's one way. It's about a 3,500 tow. So depending on where you are, but yeah, so it kind of encourages people from out east to come over and check out our events. We've got some fantastic roads, and we love to have more Eastern teams come out and see it. We would also maybe like to explore the possibility of some Eastern events doing something similar, so we can also kind of justify the long tow. Again, that's something kind of we're looking at as board members, how we can encourage a little bit more cross country travel with the championships. So yeah, it's cool. I think there's 4 teams, I believe, from Quebec that are entered for Rocky Mountain. We've got Alexander Moreau, which is great. He's coming with that X Factory car of his. The LeBlanc brothers with that sharp new livery that looks really, really good. I like that. I believe there's another R2 that was entered, and I believe I'm forgetting someone else. And of course
Sebastian Clark.
Sebastian Clark and his R5. Yeah, totally. So I'm looking forward to a good battle with Sebastian Clark. The last time he came out west, we competed together at the Pacific Forest Rally 2 years ago. I managed to beat him there, so I hope I could keep that streak going. So I'm going to start the trash talk early. Would be cool to see how the new car handles for him, but I'm coming with an upgraded engine package. So
But yeah,
yeah, we're coming out swinging. Mark my words.
I love to hear that. Same for him, I guess. Not maybe for the engine, but they just tested that Rally Voyageur 2 weeks ago, I think, at the regional in Ontario. They had a small issue in the first or second stage. That was too bad for that. But I talked to him last week and he said everything is fixed, everything is ready. So they're gonna be ready to start with a good shakedown they had there.
Yeah, absolutely. With Vincent A's performance taking care of his car, I know that car is going to be prepared to a top level. And I know that they had some setbacks at the test, but that's what the test is for, right? That's why you do those small local events, and it's better to have that happen there than on the first stage after towing 3,000-4,000 kilometers one way. So yeah, excited to have all those teams coming out from out east and hoping for a good battle. West is best, so we hope to keep it that way.
So yeah, and especially when you have two events back to back, I've heard some crazy stories about team just breaking everything in the first week. Like I think Sylvain Eriksson back in the days. Uh,
Yeah, well, even the most recent time that we did this, did this back-to-back events 2 years ago. Well, from local guys, Tanvir and Nyla Dean, they center punched a tree at Rocky Mountain Rally, and they got the car ready to go for PFR. Realistically, it's a week later, but when you look at the logistics, it's like 2, 3 days later once you factor in travel and everything. And some of the Eastern teams, they ended up staying in Invermere and like basically reprepping the cars in the service park that's already been torn down. There were some teams that were driving back to Calgary to pick up parts. I know the test racing teams for Marc-André Brisebois' car, they drove to Calgary to a junkyard to get some spare parts and stuff. Exactly. Fortunately, it's like a quick 3 hour drive from Invermere to
yeah,
Calgary. So by Canadian standards, a 3 hour drive is nothing, I guess. So, but yeah, that adds another challenge too. You kind of have to approach it. You have to remember that you're doing two events, so you have to do a calculated push maybe at Rocky Mountain to see if it's worth to go all out and risk breaking the car and then not making it to PFR, or salvaging championship points at Rocky and then going for a big push at PFR. But that being said, this year I believe the Rocky Mountain Rally will feature some roads that we haven't competed on in a while. And I believe it's going to be smoother than previous years. So hopefully less attrition, and more racing as opposed to, salvaging the car and managing tires and stuff like that.
cool. It's gonna be also a comeback from Nick Woods and Jennifer Daly, which we haven't seen I think for a few years now.
Yeah, that's correct. That Datsun is just a engineering marvel and definitely a fan favorite. Nick can definitely maximize every last little bit out of that package. So I expect him to do well. Obviously, not just in two-wheel drive, but in the overall, I can see him going quite high.
Yeah, the sound of this car is just something you don't
So good,
forget.
so good.
After that, I have on my list Boris Georgievic and John Hall is gonna be that are gonna be there, but Boris didn't want to tell me in what car he was gonna be, so
I have heard inklings of what it may be, but now I'm not 100% sure. So I don't know if I'm in at the liberty of saying but I
yeah,
hope they
we'll
make
wait
it.
for the surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever Boris will show up in, he'll be quick. He still has his Evo. He's rented some R5s and Rally 3s from the US in the past. He's got some R5 experience in Europe now as well. So whatever he shows up in, he'll definitely be a contender for the top spot.
Talking about contender for the top spot, we also have Martina Sapsonas that is going to be there with
Yeah,
another crazy car.
yeah. It's a beautifully built Subaru hatch, but it's not your typical Group N or that you see here in North America. It's a full-blown open class car with proper suspension geometry that's been customized. Martin Simpson obviously makes gearboxes, but he also makes dampers that a lot of people run. And with LV Sport, they made new subframes and all the control arms and everything. So it's basically got Rally 2 R5 geometry, or maybe WRC style geometry in that hatch, and then it's got the WRC body kit and everything. So it looks good, and it's properly quick. I was competing with them at the Olympus Rally last month, and I believe they finished fifth overall. In that car, and again, got against guys like Jari-Matti Latvala, who was there, the most experienced WRC driver in history. So That was a very stacked field to be competing in as well, and Martinez held up his own. That being said, though, as cool as that Subaru is, part of me wishes that he brought over his BMW M3 instead, because that thing is just an absolute weapon. And you want to talk about sound? I'm not a
Yeah.
BMW guy, but the sound of that BMW is, it brings, yeah, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
Have you ever seen it in the real life?
No, I've only seen videos. He
Okay.
brought it over a couple years ago. He competed at the 100-acre wood rally in the US 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. And he was quite high up overall there as well. I think he was flirting with the overall podium in a rear-wheel drive car. So obviously a very capable driver. So he's going to be one to watch for the overall for the next two events, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna share everything, guys, for you to watch. If you're there, for sure, go ahead. There's gonna be a spectator guide, probably a small ceremony at the beginning, in the city of Invermere.
Yeah, there's a spectator guide on the Rocky Mountain Rally website. So it's rockymountainrally.com. And there will be a park expose on one of the main streets there in Indermere, just adjacent to the service park. And then there'll also be a pancake breakfast sponsored by one of the event sponsors. I think there's a cash donation to some local charities. So definitely come on out and support that, and yeah, and take a look. It'll be, yeah, a lot of people always show up. Invermere is kind of cottage country for us Calgarians, so you get a lot of Alberta travelers and BC travelers and stuff. And obviously, when the rally comes, you got people from all over North America. Sometimes the U.S. competitors come up as well to play. So definitely a good park expose to come check out, and yeah, just a fun rally to be at. So highly recommend coming out.
Perfect. So now, like we said earlier, we are gonna have a few days to go back to Merritt, a bit more west, 6 hours away. So what do the team usually do in these days? For sure, if you broke your car, you're gonna repair it. But I guess you do what you have the time to do. So maybe like the mechanics are gonna stay in Vermeer or something like that, work on the cars while the driver and co-driver leave.
Yeah, that's something that we're kind of looking at. It depends on where you're based as well. Being based in Calgary, a 3-hour drive isn't too bad. But I am thinking about maybe just staying out there with the team and reprepping the car, just because it's, well, we're already 3 hours closer, let's say, to Merritt than we would be usually. But we'll see with the team. We've got a shop here in Calgary, obviously, where we do a reprep, so we can put the car up on a hoist and take a good look under it, as opposed to just doing it on pin stands. But obviously, like the traveling teams, whether it be somebody like Boris. I was chatting with John Hall, his co-driver, a few weeks ago, and he said, yeah, they're going to be just staying in Invermere because for them it's a 7-hour tow back to Edmonton, right? So that just doesn't make sense for them to go back and then come back, 2 days later. So they'll be staying in Invermere. The Eastern teams will definitely be staying in Invermere. Like in the past, like I said, they're reprepping the cars in the parking lot there, and you bring every single part, every single tire that you have in the shop, and you're towing across the country for back-to-back national rallies. You hope not to use any of them, but of course, it's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. So, fortunately, rally mechanics prefer to work on cars on cold, hard surfaces and in weather conditions that are, well, maybe no weather conditions. They like favorable weather conditions, but sometimes they prefer to be working on cars on pin stands than on a hoist. So yeah, it'll be a challenge for the teams, both the mechanics equally as it is for the drivers.
And I've never been in Merritt, so or the stage there. From what I've seen, I think it's a bit more rough, maybe than Rocky Mountain. Am I
No, I'd
correct?
say the other way around.
Yeah.
The Nicola Valley is gorgeous. Some really, really pretty views. Depending on which stages they run, I don't think I haven't seen a stage schedule yet. As a driver now, I kind of let my co-driver handle that. By the way, shout out David Ma, a great co-driver. Can't wait to get back in the car with him. I would say that PFR typically, as the last time I ran it was 2 years ago, was smoother generally speaking than Rocky Mountain was. Obviously, there were some rough sections, but generally speaking, I would say it's smoother. And depending on the stages that they run, like there are certain stages that are quite sandy, for example. I remember the Nicola Lake stage. That one was quite sandy. Helmer is quite hard packed. Some slight rough sections in the new part of the road, which was made a few years ago after the floods in Merritt. And then when it joins with the old Helmer Road, then it all comes back to like a proper hard pack road. Brookmere has a bit of everything, a little bit sandy, like fine soot, almost kind of like the fesh in Safari. But good gravel there as well. It's not too abrasive. I'm trying to think. And Mab Lake. That's yeah, good hard compact gravel and very very fast. And we run it at night typically. You get 2 passes in the daytime, and then you get 2 passes in the dark. So you get a chance to check your notes for the first pass, and then when you attack it in the dark and the dust, you make sure that you stay committed to those notes.
Yeah, talking about dust, I remember Rocky Mountain way back when I went. It was a big issue, especially at night. I guess it's gonna be if it doesn't really rain between the events.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're thankful that some moisture has hit the West Coast here over the May long weekend here. It was in typical Calgary fashion. We got snow, which is expected. Yeah, that's you don't change your winter tires until May long weekend in Calgary, and that's just an unspoken rule. And somebody's new to the city when they've changed over their tires in like mid-April. Like, oh no, just you wait another month of this still. But yeah, so that fortunately we got some rain and some snow and stuff, which has also helped the wildfire risk. That was a welcome sight. We'll be doing rain dances from now until the start of the event, and then at the event it can dry out and it'll be nice and yeah, it can be windy, so no dust, but we don't want rain at the. I want good dry conditions.
And for the cars, is it as high in altitude as Rocky Mountain?
No, it's a little bit lower. And even the Rocky Mountain Rally now is at a lower elevation than what it used to be when it was held here in Alberta, in the Porcupine Hills. I guess the last time we ran was, I believe, in 2011, maybe 2012, I think, was the last time we had it in the Porcupine Hills. But still, actually, the test racing cars, I believe, a few years ago when they came over, they were struggling with the altitude. Their cars were a little underpowered, it seems. So that's also adds a little bit to the challenge there, right? Sometimes you gotta send over the data logs to the engineers overnight, and they can send over a new tune or something based on the atmospheric conditions and stuff. So a little bit of extra homework for some of the teams too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw on the entry list that Tanverdeen and Naila are just gonna be at the Pacific Forest. I think all the rest is pretty much gonna be the same. Some teams are probably just gonna do one of the two events.
No, I mean, just looking forward to it. It's a great rally. It's a lot of fun. Like you mentioned, Tanvir and Nyla are going to be there. I have them doing quite well at that event. Nyla will actually be at Rocky Mountain as well, but she'll be co-driving for Brandon Lang, one of my former drivers as well. We competed together in 2017 and 2018 and did PFR together in 2019. So it's cool to see just the old group of friends. He hasn't competed in a while, and I haven't competed in a while, so it's good to see old friends and new rivalries. Let's say going from teammates now to rivals. And he was thinking about PFR as well, but he's got to find a co-driver since Nyla is committed to her brother. But it'd be cool to have all three of us at PFR. So if there's any experienced co-drivers, maybe reach out to Brendan Lang. He's looking for somebody. Other than that, no, PFR is going to be great. I look forward to that event every year. It is a challenging event, no matter what stages they run. So looking forward to the competition. The entry field, I think a few more people are going to enter. I think they were just kind of waiting to see what the official news would be about these wildfires and stuff, but it's looking good. So get those entries in, folks. I know I'll be sending my entry in today and getting that underway. So we'll be doing back-to-back events.
Very nice. I've heard they were still looking for volunteers. So if you're in the region, guys, don't hesitate to go there. It's always good for the event to have more volunteers.
Absolutely, yeah. So both events, I'm sure, could use volunteers. You can never have too many. So the Rocky Mountain Rally website's rockymountainrally.com. go on that website and click on the volunteers tab and follow those instructions. And same thing for the Pacific Forest Rally, pacificforestrally.com. Look for the volunteers tab, sign up. It's the best way to get involved in the sport. You are on the front lines. You're touching the rally cars. You're meeting the competitors, and you're learning quite a lot. And again, we can't do it without you guys. So it's super important, and we're always thankful for the volunteers. And yeah, like I said, it's just a great way to get involved. A lot of volunteers start off as volunteers, then progress on to being competitors, whether it be drivers or co-drivers. Maybe starting some rallycross events as well, which we organize here in Alberta with the Calgary Sportswear Club and the Edmonton Rally Club and the SBRCC out of Squamish. They organize some events, rallycross events in BC. And of course, there's some in Ontario and Quebec as well, the Rally X events. So check those out, and then you've dipped your toes into performance rally, and next thing you know, you'll be competing in the CRC as well.
There you go. Thank you very much, Michael, and we'll root for you in the stages.
Thanks, Fred. Thank you, everyone.